Maybe you just received your first Pip-Boy, or maybe you're closing in on your 3,000th hour exploring the wastes. Either way, there are a few things that'll ring true for any Fallout player. Today, we're going to cover the Fallout series rather than a particular game. I'm Jet Set with a leaderboard, and these are 11 things only Fallout players will understand. Hey, listen, another settlement needs your help. There's nobody more annoying in Fallout 4 than Preston Garvey. You first meet him early in the story when he requests your help putting a stop to some pesky raiders. Afterwards, you may think that's the last you'll be seeing of Preston, but Preston returns to the sanctuary later, beginning his reign of patience-testing antics. Not only is Preston frankly obsessed with the Minutemen, he also appoints you as their new leader after seeing your leadership skills in action. So how does Preston treat his new commander/leader? A nice meal of Brahmin steak? Some relaxation after fighting off the raiders and Deathclaw? Nope. Just settlement after settlement needing help and no one being of any help whatsoever. And all of these requests will eventually pile up, causing you to have a truly ridiculous number of settlements that somehow can only be saved by you and your trusty dog. Thanks, Preston. I don't want to set the world on fire. Bethesda games undoubtedly have incredible soundtracks, but everyone seems to find that one song that just sort of gets stuck in their head for a while. Once you find that special tune, you'll often find yourself counting the song rotations and even finding the patterns until your favorite song returns for an encore. Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 have some pretty catchy old-timey tunes for that 50s aesthetic that definitely puts us in the wandering mood. Who could forget Butcher Pete? I don't want to set the world on fire. He calls me crazy. A Wonderful Guy, Dear Hearts and Gentle People, Heartaches by the Numbers, and Big Iron. Honestly, most of Fallout's soundtrack gets stuck in my head, but if I listed every good jam, we'd be here for days. The ability to wait. If you're like us, you've probably had some days that you would have rather just skipped. This is really more of a feature of Bethesda RPGs, but nonetheless, it would still be a very useful ability. Want to skip that party you're dreading? If real life were like Fallout, you'd just be able to jump ahead. We aren't talking about the type of skipping like in the movie Click where there would be repercussions for being on autopilot. No. This is more like you stay in a single spot for X amount of hours till you snap back to reality. Just don't forget about gravity. Jokes aside, it would probably make for some interesting moments of finding people just standing still for hours at a time. I wonder how your companions feel about having to wait for you. Missing that V.A.T.S shot. Nothing is worse than knowing you should have killed a foe, but barely missing the final blow. This has always plagued gamers in first-person shooter titles, but it does add insult to injury when you have the time to watch it happen. If you've ever had the misfortune of this happening to you, there's no mistaking the panic scream and frantic squirming as you knock over your drink while asking yourself, why? Or is that just me? Okay. Anyways, seeing that 95% for a headshot and watching your laser shot fly past your target is terrifying. Suddenly, 3 or 4 of your shots have missed their mark and the Deathclaw is closing in for the smackdown. When all else fails, there's always melee weapons, but even those are met with some mixed results. There's baseball bats, sledgehammers to rival the SAS big boy himself, and let's not forget the power fist. Missing even a single swing with any of these at that crucial moment can make the most level-headed of us into an actual pillar of salt. Upping your points into perks that give bonuses to accuracy are available, but sometimes it's nice to try other builds. And I'm a stealth sniper again. Need a new system to play Fallout 76? We give away a console every week. Just go to leaderboard.nyc/giveaway and log in with virtually any internet account. For your best chance to win, you're gonna want to subscribe to the Leaderboard on YouTube and sign up for our email updates. You can also follow us on social media and tell your friends about the giveaway for even more chances to win. Meet car. While running around the waste, it's hard to miss the many cars strewn about the dilapidated roads. But even though these vehicles don't move, they're still death traps. Solid steel and powered by nuclear reactors. What could possibly go wrong? Not only are these glorified paperweights pretty unsightly, but they choose the absolute worst time to explode while you're in a firefight. But there's another issue here. You would never know just by looking, but when you barely nudge one of these Bel Air behemoths, you get a shimmy and a shake as the car takes you out at the knees and 100 to zeros you. After 1 or 2 tries, it's really difficult to go anywhere when you're more scared of a prop than a super mutant or a Deathclaw. Hoarding typewriters. With Fallout 4's settlement builder and customization system, all of the random junk that used to fill your pockets can actually be useful. Everything from glue to nails can be used to build weapons or pallet shacks. While you're out scavenging, you'll notice that typewriters are a great resource for screws, and you might find yourself dropping other items to pick up 2 or 3 of these pocket anchors. So, best of luck with your growing hoarder problem. Collecting all the power armor. Power armor is amazing while you're in it, and the awesome customization options for the armor in Fallout 4 make it all the more desirable. If you're the type of player who likes to hoard as many items, vehicles, and weapons as possible, you no doubt have a garage specifically dedicated to your ever-growing collection of power armor, complete with chassis, mixable sets, power cords, and oh so many companions to steal them all from you. Every part will have its place and each type its own storage solution. Now you can live out your Iron Man fantasy in style. Your first time with the Fat Man. I see you, sitting there, trying to look away. We've all been there. You must have thought, how much damage can a nuke really do? And then you fired it a little too close for comfort and immediately got wrecked. You swore you would never do it again, until 5 minutes later a super mutant pops up right in front of you and causes a thermonuclear explosion once again. It only takes a couple of times before the Fat Man goes into a forced retirement, but it will be pulled out of retirement at the first sign of Deathclaw attack, that I promise you. If you're like me, then you've probably also tried to mod the Fat Boy with infinite ammo, a bottomless clip, and ultra-rapid firing. Weapon collector. There's plenty of weapons to collect in the waste, and it'll take you a while to get them all. Even with the whole arsenal on hand, you'll probably stick to your favorites for most of the game. Maybe you're partial to a minigun yourself, or maybe it's the fully decked out laser rifle that you use to decimate the mole rat population of the wastes. Whatever your preference, you may not have even noticed how often you pass up other weapons because they just don't have the stats to beat your current loadout. Even thinking of spending hours setting up a new loadout for a whole new playstyle is exhausting. Maybe that's why so many of the raiders and common enemies carry the same weapons. Food for thought. Modding. There comes a time in every Bethesda RPG where the gameplay is still fun but lacks the same pizzazz it had when you first started. You want more from your game, so you turn to the world of modding. But what do the hours spent tracking down mods get you? Now you get to boot up the game to crash after crash. And now you spend even more time fiddling with your settings, removing and adding mods, and finally getting it to work 4 or 5 hours later when you're too tired to play. But that won't stop you from jumping in anyways and spending the rest of the night spawning hundreds of weapons, a few thousand enemies, and an absolutely uncalled for amount of props. Mods from as simple as a retexture to a full model conversion, clothes, new companions, new weapons, characters from different games. If you haven't tried modding a Fallout game before, it's definitely worth doing once. If you want to hear about our favorite Fallout mods, check out our video, linked in the description below. Just Deathclaws, man. Sure, there are plenty of dangers found while wandering through the wastes. Giant scorpions, mole rats, bloat flies, and the raiders that litter the landscape. Fallout games do a great job of having plenty to fight against, but nothing can come close to that first experience of minding your own business when all of a sudden the ground begins to rumble. Is it an earthquake? Heavy machinery? Nope, it's just a couple of tons of hulking death headed straight for you. You can run, but you can't hide. Deathclaws have been a part of Fallout from the very beginning, but that doesn't mean their style is set in stone. They've had several updates over the years that have changed up their look. The first model of this monstrosity looks more like a large, sleek lizard with 2 small, straight horns. This look evolved over the next few games, slowly gaining more hard edges and getting bigger and more menacing horns. In Fallout 4, it's more akin to Diablo than a Deathclaw, but that just adds to the terror. Giant Diablo iguana? Yeah, I'd rather take my chances in a scorpion pit, thanks. What are some other quintessential Fallout experiences? How many mods are you rocking at the moment? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Jet Set with the Leaderboard. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be the first to know when we upload new stuff.